What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Mushoku Tensei, a jobless reincarnation. Tonight, episode 8 of season 2. What happened in the last episode? Episode 7. So, last episode was, the beginning of the evil arc. Not for the show, but for me, right? We had a little bit of a, let me just boom give the comments up. We had a little bit of an evil Andy activation, which I thought was very funny. And so, yeah, most of that was based off of, impressions that, like, I think a lot of it boils down to for me, we're gonna very lightly dance. We're not gonna delve, we're gonna dance through this, little comment section here. There's a lot here, which I do really appreciate the people, given well thought out stuff. I'm not gonna hit all of it, but I do appreciate it. I read it all. What we're gonna do is we're gonna dance through this at a couple points. Overall, I'm kind of hitting a new impression because I've talked to some people in the Discord and such. I feel like one of the large parts that's making me that's griping me with the show is it a kind of a lack of thought, and I'll get to that. Wait, a lack of thought or time almost. I feel like it's kind of almost speed run, or at least with the slave thing. It felt very sped ran, I guess, where it's we meet her, we drop a theme in, ooh, you want to die, boom, 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 a couple minutes, and then we're immediately, next episode, she's chanting, yay, Roxy, yay, right, and now she's just a, cute little character, daughter-esque character, little sister-esque character, whatever, right? And so it's kind of a whiplash to go from, oh, dang, this is a pretty insane and dark thing that is being proposed to this young girl here. To, okay, now she's just our fun, gag little sister. She's cute. Look at her do cute things, So that was kind of a, and snap my neck a little bit. Yeah. So there's kind of a speed element there. The reason I bring that up is that, in the Discord, we were talking about the light novel somewhat, right? And I haven't read the light novel, obviously, right? But just kind of one of the things that bothered me, which I don't freaking know, somebody talked about it in here somewhere, was I want if we're gonna Rudy as a flawed character, can we all agree he's very flawed, right? And that's kind of the point. And there are a couple people saying things this, it seems to me that your enjoyment of a show is tied to how good of a person the main cast are, which is something I personally don't understand. I mean, I disagree completely and entirely. There's a lot of ungood, aka bad people, or bad moral agents, or whatever, as characters that are fascinating, even as part of the main cast, I'm so into that. I just haven't really enjoyed how I've seen it in this anime, right? I think what maybe the core difference would be for me, or one of the big things for me, is that apparently in the light novel, something as simple as when we're walking to the slave place, right? Rudy had some thoughts about the slaves that were mentioned and kind of getting some of his mentality on that, and one person said that if they remembered right, there was something about Rui Jerd thrown in there, which feels very, very appropriate. That kind of stuff. I mean, let me see. Let me just do light N, LN, so I can find this hoe. Bring. Yeah, they could have included some inner dialogue about how messed up the situation these people are in, which does happen in the light novel. Exactly that. This honestly, this first chunk of this comment here is very, I feel very succinct to my opinion, right? They could have included some more stuff. I think this part here, I think the only reason they didn't is because the series thrives on controversy, and they knew people would talk about it if they didn't include Rudy's apprehension of Fitz's idea and the thoughts he had about it up until they actually bought Julie. Yeah, I get the feeling a lot of the times with this show that things are extra crazy for the point of being controversial, where they could have been explored more and actually elaborated on instead, right? So if we got I would be such a hoe for some more inner thoughts, right? I'd be such a hoe for some more inner thoughts. And just Rudy's opinions on things, right? Even hearing him, I remember it goes back all the way to episode 3 or something, where I was like kind of wondering like, does this guy care about getting better, or like what's kind of the deal there? And somebody commented or something that was like that gave like a paragraph of Rudy's thoughts, where in like of, and it was like of some sexual degeneracy type stuff, right? And the thoughts were like Rudy being like feeling like some level of disgust with himself or whatever. And that to me was like click 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 click, like that was exactly what I was looking for, you know? Where it's like, oh dang, like if we're gonna show him being all gross and crazy, like I would really appreciate to like fully get into his mindset there, and hear him like does he hate himself, feel disgust with himself, etc. Like let's actually, I want to hear his methodology there, right? So when we get, yeah, so like that's something that I feel like I'm being told happens a lot more in the light novel, and also just like context wise in the light novel. Like I bring up like maybe like what about the family, you know, kind of thing, because my point, because I brought up the family thing in this last episode, right? And like here's something like this here, right? Because the reason that I bring that up is we have like no information on it, right? And Rudy doesn't either in the scene. He walks up and like talks to her, and before getting any information, he's jumping to the suicide, right? And so it's like, oh, like that was kind of like, I was like, well, what if her family's literally like, I don't know, we don't know anything about her. Maybe we could just send her there. And a lot of people are saying like, oh, but why would he care? You know, like I don't know. Somebody said that later here. There was a lot of comments. There was a lot of comments. Woo! Blah, 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 blah. What? Yeah, you say Rudy should help find her parents. Why? What motive does Rudy have for doing that? Yeah, well, he does. I feel like there is somewhat a motive in there somewhere. In that, like, what motive would Rudy have for buying her to kill her, right? Because it's like, oh, like, if you're willing to buy her to kill her, then, like, or to, like, execute her, assisted suicide her, whatever. If you're willing to do that, then how much higher is the bar to entry to, like, instead send her back to her family or whatever, her, like, extended family or whatever, right? And we don't know how much harder that would be because we don't know anything about him, because we don't actually talk about that. We just are kind of going fast in the scene, right? And so, like, some of the additional context in the Discord that, like, kind of, like, I think was very helpful in seeing the scene and getting into Rudy's mindset are things like the dwarves live frickin' across the entire world. Like, frickin', what was it, like, right by the Beast Forest area, I think? I think there was, like, a dwarf area there. And that Rudy knows that information, you know, in the light novel. That's, like, pretty important, because then that immediately is like, oh, that's a reason why it's not that, like, that wouldn't even be that much of an idea to Rudy, because it's not like we can go on an entire cross-country journey across the entire planet to freaking do this, you know? I mean, we could, but, like, that bar to entry is really, really high, so it's like, well, why would I expect him to do that, right? And also, so it's like, okay, like, that really helps. It's like, that gives Rudy the reason to not really pry into that, because it's not like, you know, he can, like, you know, that kind of thing, as opposed to in the anime where it's like, we don't get, I don't think we ever got that information about the dwarves, or at least I never remembered it, so if it was said pretty, like, quickly, or maybe I'm just dumb, but, like, oh, wait, let me get my notes up now that I think about it, yeah, and then, like, another point that I think made it make more sense was that, like, apparently she's mad cheap, like, the girl, like 50 copper or something like that. That is a complete, like, dude, I was expecting her to be somewhat expensive, right? Because I don't know how much a slave costs, kind of deal, right? So the thought that, like, oh, if she's super cheap, then it's like the bar to entry for buying her and executing her is like, bink. You know, it's like tiny, but then the bar to entry, like, with her family, like, with the dwarves being across the entire planet, oh, the bar to entry to actually, like, get her back to her family, it's like, bang, you know what I mean? So it's just, like, I feel like it could have been, like, I would have really liked to have just Rudy, like, spin through a couple of these ideas, right? Like, if we're gonna, like, have a story about, like, a super flawed character, blah, 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 then getting into their mindset can be really, really juicy, you know what I'm saying? And we get that sometimes, and we can make a lot of, like assumptions or whatever. It's also kind of like the nature of the flaws, right? Whereas with, like, a lot of flawed characters that, like, I've enjoyed in media, they've had certain flaws, whatever. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to just like give examples because it's like if I start giving examples and it's like I low key might spoil something, so I'm gonna try not to. But then the nature of flaws that Rudy has, which are like, I don't know, like shame, self worth, sexual degeneracy. I mean, not this isn't really a big one, but I just think of Cliff as a foil. Like him being super super good at magic, like could that cause some sort of like ego there? All those sorts of things. Like a lot of those, like a couple of those flaws, I don't like find that engaging. I guess. Like a lot, like I guess a lot more of the like sexual themed ones, where it's like I don't find that engaging in a character that much. And so like it has to be done really well for me to like feel really engaged in it. And then with the light novel to the light novel to anime transition, with so much like context getting cut down and so much like internal Rudy thoughts getting cut down, it feels like I'm like kind of left guessing a lot of the time. Yeah, so that's like a little bit of something there. I'll skim through a couple of these. You know what I was thinking? It was actually kind of funny. I might do it just for the meme. We're gonna start a timer. We're gonna start a 20-minute timer. So, and I don't know, maybe, so, just so that I get a freaking grasp of how long I'm in this place for. This is such a base comment, by the way, of negativity begets negativity, regardless of whether the show improves. Watching with resentment will just make it worse. And then, yeah, like, exactly, and that applies back to, like, the actual video. It's been such a weird situation where it's like, I don't want to just, like, fucking nom the show constantly. I don't want to, like, hate on the show, but then there's so many things that, like, are, like kind of griping, so it's put me in kind of a weird, like, pressure cooker situation, because I agree, like, I don't know, it's weird, and, like, this point of, I don't feel like you feel some sort of weird obligation to continue watching the show just for us. I mean, like, I kind of want to finish it, like, if I'm going to start a series, I want to finish the series, like, one of my biggest fears would be, like, oh, somebody's watching Mushoku Tensei, and then they, like, start watching the reaction, and then it's like, oh, like, they were so excited to watch, like, episode 9 season 2, but then I never made it there because I gave up. That would be, like, really sad to me, because it's like, dang, like, that, I don't want to, like, half it, because there are people out there that, like, that are looking for it, and so it's like, damn, like, I don't want to hoe people like that. So I do feel that obligation for sure, but then I also don't like negativity dumping, because then that doesn't make for a fun watching experience, right? Which we definitely kind of went there for a minute there. I think some people liked the negativity, but I think a lot of people didn't like the negativity, which is fair, because I wouldn't watch that either, probably, unless I really didn't like the show, but then why would I watch a reaction, right? So it's like this weird, yeah. It's obvious, so just do whatever makes you happy is best. Just my 2 cents, keep up the good work. I mean, it's so based. I mean, what a great comment. Like, yeah, that, man, and I was stressed in uploading this video too. I was like, maybe I should just not upload this and, like, just say I dropped the show. I really thought about that. So to, like, have a couple people be like, give pretty positive responses, I really did appreciate. Rudy's monologue was supposed to be Zenoba's monologue. I'd be down with that. That would have been cool. The Zenoba little sister thing. Yeah, it's crazy. It's just, it goes into that whiplash thing I said again, right? Where it's like, to go from Rudy is willing to kill this girl for her own sake in his own, let's say, flawed way, to go from that into she's a part of the family is like that's a crazy transition, right? And that doesn't mean crazy in a bad way, but that just means like intense. That's an intense transition. So to have it happen in the span of like scene wise, it's what, like, we have the scene in the slave place, then we have the scene, the dinner or whatever, and that's kind of getting to know her, getting her some food because she's so hungry, blah blah blah. Like, I get the context. But then, like, and the like named after Julie thing, or like the Julie name is kind of little sister-esque, but like we don't like full send that idea yet. It's like, okay, like, we're getting to know the girl, sure, whatever. But then the next episode 7, is kind of more of a gag-esque, well, not gag, but it's more of like a comedic, lighthearted episode for sure, like this right here, right? And there's just something really like having Julie just be like, we get a kind of the intro exposition monologue about like, oh, and now she's part of the family. It's just like, dang, like that just is such that it just is such a whiplash for me. Which kind of threw me off, where it's like then we're watching her like partake in like the gags and like the comedy a bit more, where like we're all cheering about Roxyism as these two girls are tied up, as we're like showing them the holy relic, the panties, and the little 6-year-old slave girl who like a month in world, but like 8 minutes, or like, we're not 8 minutes, but like 20 minutes in terms of watch time ago, we were willing to like, kill if she wanted to. It's just like, what a time. Like this, it was just like, wow, this was fast. And no, yeah, I'm like, I'm aware they said that, right? Like, just because I don't verbalize something doesn't mean I'm not aware of it. Like, I could verbalize everything if you all want, but, no, like, they said that, and that was in the intro monologue, right? Like, I do try to pay attention to this shit, yeah. This, I think, makes 1,000,000% sense, right? And that's why, like, the Rudy going on to the Beast Girls, I was really fine with that, all things considered. Like, I thought that was not something I really had problems with. The only problem I could, like, I guess I kind of had was just to have them pee themselves felt like kind of like a little unnecessary. But that wasn't like Rudy's decision. That felt like the writing, right? Where it's like, they've been here so long, look at them, they pissed themselves. It's like, okay, I guess. Like, and that, again, like, it's, a lot of my things isn't about, like, oh, Rudy's character is not making sense, blah, blah, blah. It's more so, like, Rudy's character as written is something that, like, I'm not finding a lot of, like, ground that I enjoy with, right? It's a lot more from the, like, what, because it's, like, a lot of the arguments for the show, in favor of the show, I feel like comes down to, like, oh, like, this is, like, this right here. It's just giving you a realistic view of how things would work in that setting. The shot comes from people not being able to adjust to the setting. Well, it's like, yeah, sure, but guess what? The setting was written. Why was the setting written this way? Do you think the setting might have been written for the shock? Or let's maybe replace shock with controversy? Because, yeah, like, if you're going for pure shock value, then you do, like, crazy things. But, like, maybe more controversy-wise. Where it's like, it sometimes feels like it was written to be controversial, though perhaps I think that might be more of an anime thing, where with a lot of the context and inner thoughts cut out, like, it feels less earned. Like, it just feels like it's kind of thrown in as opposed to, like, thoroughly explored. Yeah. But, like, at least with the anime, it's, like, or let's say, not even just the anime, but, like, realistic for the setting, it only works to a degree because the setting was, like, written, It's not like we're watching physics play out. This isn't a science experiment, okay? This isn't a freaking geodome that, look at my fungus growing. This isn't a fungus growing session, right? Like, somebody created this and then is doing things with the thing that was created, right? And sometimes, and as I've said before, like, there's, like, a emergent property, perhaps, that's, like, the thing kind of does things on its own, and that's when you kind of can, I think, pull in a realistic argument, where it's like, oh, like, the setting was defined as A, and it only is reasonable that A would become B, therefore, for it to become B is realistic. I get that there. Like, that's, like, in the world setting, things will sometimes just pan out in ways, right? But that only, like, that works to a degree, right? That's not, like, 100% like, there are still elements that are constantly being written in and thrown in by the author. So to have, like, a lot of this stuff happen, it feels like a author lens sometimes, as opposed to a, like, in-world consequential thing. But yeah. I just clicked on somebody else's video. Nerd explains how to beat the vampires in 30 Days of Night. I've watched this video already. Look, I liked it. Why is this in my recommend if I've already watched it, bro? Alright, misclick. Okay. Whoa! Okay, back to it. Blum, 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 blum. But yeah, so the Rudy thing with the... Yeah, like the bullies thing, totally makes sense, right? I think I've even mentioned that as well. Like, them being ex-bullies would make Rudy extra blah, blah, blah. And the ED thing, like, him groping Persina or whatever her name, it's like, yeah, like, that's pretty... Okay. Like, I don't know. Like, that made sense to me. Like, I totally get why that's happening, and that's not something that I'm going to throw a fit about, right? It is kind of a crazy situation, all things are given, but the entire arc has been about curing his ED, so, like, for him to be like, I don't like to say this. I almost feel like I said this, but I don't know. This is interesting. The religious persecution thing. No idea that was like much of a thing, right? I assume that's just kind of light novel, extra context type behavior. Like Zonoba compares him to a zealot. Yeah, I mean that's interesting. I like that extra context there. And then that also makes sense to me. Show isn't for everyone. Blah blah blah. Analyze it from an objective place without importing personal or moral judgment, because otherwise it would drive you crazy. Unless you're able to empathize with Rudy. Yeah. I'm so close. People were using the word objective and subjective in this comment section. I'm so close to just attacking people for it. I'm not gonna do it though. I'm not gonna do it. I think. Wait, what was it? Somebody said like it's objectively a good show or something. But yeah, okay. Let me go to this. Like this, like thinks this world has modern day transportation communication technology, which would by making someone traveling to them a trivial task. That's the only reason I can think of why he would suggest this as an alternate option. It's not about, like, realistically, it would literally take years, massive expenses, blah, blah, blah. It's about, like Rudy doesn't consider it, and it's never brought up as an option, and we like all the context. I don't know where the dwarves live. Dude, the dwarves could have lived 10 minutes away. We never got told that information, right? The dwarves literally could have lived in the city. I don't know. Like that's the thing. It feels like Rudy's not it's like Rudy's not in the anime. It's like Rudy doesn't feel like he's actually thinking about the situation because we don't go through any of the other options. But then in the light novel, it's like, okay, well that makes more sense because guess what? The freaking dwarves live across the entire continent. But it's like, dude, in the anime, I don't know where the dwarves live. This is the second dwarf we ever met. So it's like, dude, I would let's that's the issue with the speed running of the scene. Like, if we're gonna go here, if we're gonna hire a 6-year-old girl to be our figurine slave because we're a bunch of nobles and are too whatever. And we're being reductive there. Like, I'll be clear, but if we're gonna hire a slave to do all this, then let's actually check it out. Like, I'd like to get into that, get into the mud. Yeah. So, like, this is not at all, like, no, that's not the point. We just don't know the information. And Rudy doesn't even, like, ask about it until after the scene where it's like, yo, what's your name? And then she spits that random thing, I already kind of talked about that at the start. But yeah, and like there's no like attempt made. And it's just the attempt doesn't even have to be like fucking check out the book from the studious library, freaking onto bing, genealogy, trace your ancestry back to your like original dwarf tree or whatever. Where were dwarves made from? The dwarf god. Let me talk to the dwarf god, man god, call up the dwarf god. I gotta find this little girl's like place of residence. That's not even what I'm saying, It's just like, just talk to him about it for like Rudy, like, yeah. Rudy's not a hero. He doesn't give a fuck, to be fair. He only cares about people that he has established relationships with. In fact, it was massive character growth for him to even offer to mercy kill her as he goes against his personal principle of not murdering people. Well, murder is different than killing. But no, yeah, sure. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Because it's not even about, like, what's the, like, it's not about hero, I'll go to that. I don't even need to, yeah. I'll go here. Like, I'm pretty sure I explicitly say that I don't expect him to do this part. He didn't dismantle slavery single-handedly for everyone. Therefore, like, blah blah blah. I think I explicitly say that I'm not expecting him to go through and do all of this stuff and save the world and blah blah blah. The reason I bring up the family point is to try to lower the bar. That's the reason I did it, right? It was to lower the bar of entry, where people, because I feel like some people were saying like, oh, like it's either you kill her or what, you just take care of her forever, or like it's like, oh, what, you leave her here, take care of her forever, or you can kill her, right? And it's like, well, what, you expect him to take care of her forever? That's insane. And it's like, yeah, I kind of agree. Like that, like that's a lot to do. You're literally like adopting a child at that point, right? So it's like, okay, well, what could you do that's not just killing her, but also is not adopting her? What about her family? We get no information about that. Maybe it's pretty easy, but we have no information because Rudy doesn't think about it. Kind of crazy that Rudy didn't think about it. It feels like we're not really like fully exploring the situation, right? That was my point. I'm not expecting him to go freaking single-mantly disslave slavery, blah, 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 right? Especially because I don't think he's a good guy, right? If he's not going to be a good guy, like, I want to get into his mentality and I want to get the context so that we can explore the scenes and actually be able to, like, pull things out of him better. Because it really kind of does feel like, at least with the slave episode, with the anime, like, I might just read the light novel. Like this, low-key. I thought you got blah, blah, blah. But again, it doesn't help that Studio Bind sped ran through Volume 7, cut all of Sarah's POV out, and skip most details. Yes, 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 yes! Like, dude, I was even fine with the Sarah stuff, bro. I actually liked the Sarah, I actually liked what they did with the Sarah stuff at the end of the day. It's like, okay! Like, he got effed up with the trauma. Like, Sarah got hoed by it. It fell apart. Soledad, hey, clutching it out. Like, let's explore it. Like, I was down with that, bro. That was sick. That Soledad episode schmacked. I was really, like, up till episodes 1 through 5 of season 2, I was really happy. I was doing pretty good. Like, all things considered. Maybe it wasn't, I don't know, maybe I wasn't. Was I? I kind of thought I was. In retrospect, I was happy. Maybe in the actual reactions, it didn't come across as well. That's the crazy thing. Like, I can say things, but how true is it? At least in my own memories, like, you know, I was pretty happy with how they were doing season 2. And then this slave thing felt like you know. But yeah, like, yeah, I feel like this is, I think the cutting down from the light novel to the anime is a big part of what's, like, griping me. Because if we're gonna go into the mud, then let's roll around in it, right? And so in the anime where a lot of these internal thoughts are getting, like, cut out or whatever, it feels like we're rolling around in it less than I want, which makes it feel like, why are we even in the mud in the first place? Yeah. And also, like, the lightest shit in the show, offering suicide to a 6-year-old is not very light, I would argue. Just to be clear. But yeah, his take about, and then this I would also, like, kind of agree with, like, or disagree with. Well, slavery exists here, I can't stop it, so why let it bother me? Instead, I'll do good where I can. I don't think that's what he's really, like, is that what he's thinking? I'll do good where I can? I mean, kind of. Because, like, him buying her is, like, him buying her is motivated by helping out homie Zenoba. I want a figurine slave, bet. Right? Instead, I'll do a good where I can. Him killing her him offering to kill her, right? Is, like, him attempting a good action. He thinks it's good, right? Or else, why would he do it? Why would he go out his way to do something? It's not like he's doing it for, like, his own, like, sick, perverted pleasure, you know, as, like, some sort of psychopath. You know, he's not doing that. I think he's just as I said, like, a million times, right? Projecting. Like, he's projecting a ton. And that's the thing, like, what motive does Rudy have for doing that? Like, I feel like I get it in a lot of ways, right? Like, you can go deeper, and, like, I don't get every nuance, every detail, sure, but, like, I feel like I get what they're going for. The guy, super depressed, sees a girl, seems very, or, like, let's use their word, he's been through despair, like, he explicitly says it. It's not like they're trying to, like, be super crazy in the scene, like in the slave scene, where he's like, yeah, like, Zenoba's like, Maestro, what's the situation? He's like, oh, this is despair. You've seen despair before many times. That's, like, the line, right? Roughly. And so it's like, oh, yeah, I mean, Rudy's seen despair before. He's been in despair constantly. And so he's projecting his own lived experience through despair onto the girl and offering, like, you know, in the times he's considered suicide, or at least, I mean, he considered suicide with a knife to the throat, and then, like, had some sort of, like, suicidal-esque thoughts, or, like situations with the, like, in the fight with Counter Arrow, and he just wasn't partaking and was like, I'll just die, or whatever, right? Like, that's kind of, that's, like, slightly different than just straight up suicide, right? But it's, like, of the line of suicide, right? So, it's like, oh, he's just projecting all those experiences onto this 6-year-old girl. And then me going on my big old ramble, right, is like, I feel like it's me going, like, look at all the crazy things with this situation. The show spends 5 minutes here. I can yap about this thing for, like, 2 hours, right? So it's, like, almost like, dang, this situation's crazy. And so, like, I almost feel like the show is, like I would want the show to explore it more, right? Because, yeah, they kind of just explicitly say Rudy's thoughts on the matter, and then she shows some life. Oh, there's our theme of, like, oh, you know, you don't have to want to live, you just have to not want to die, right? And then now we get to be a happy family because she had some, like, motive to live or whatever. But, you know, it just felt like it's just, give me more. Give me some more, man. Give some more Rudy thoughts. Yeah, like, I don't expect him to be heroic. It's just almost like, because, I mean, I feel like maybe, like, the heroism thing that people are saying are, like, because I was talking about Ruijerd, right? Where it's like, dude, you spent so much time with Ruijerd, like, none of that got immersed into your being. Yeah. But it's not about, like, him spending his life being completely charitable and altruistic or whatever. That's more so just, like, showing that there's, like, why isn't this being brought up? You know, like, I feel like there's things to be said here because Rudy's gone through these experiences and this, like, place is kind of, like, similar to that. So it's like, dang, I feel like we could, like, do some things here. That's more so what I feel like I'm trying to say. It's like, I feel like we could do some more things here. Which then could be a light novel difference. I think it's a light novel diff. You don't have to like Rudy. Plenty of people don't. I don't like Rudy. But you should at least understand him. It's like, but it's clear you aren't even comprehending why he's acting how he is when it makes total sense given his past. I think I'm comprehending it fine. I just don't think that the anime has, like, shown it off enough. We're at 28 seconds. And by shown it off enough, I mean, like, explored, like, a lot of the full ramifications and, like, interesting situations that could stem out of the situation, right? You know, like I used to do, like, the Ruijerd stuff, you know, like I don't know, I just went on a freaking 2-hour ramble. I don't need to go on a 2-hour ramble again. Oh, I'll spend, like, a little longer here, but I'll wrap it up. But yeah, I'm not expecting that. I'm pretty sure I've said that explicitly. I'll say it explicitly again. I'm not expecting that. I'm not even, like, desiring that, right? Because that would be super out of character for Rudy to just go, oh, I'm a hero. Let me save people, right? Like, without actually having thoughts and deeper motives into that, blah, blah, blah. And that kind of goes into, like, the nice thing about something like he didn't dismantle slavery single-handedly or free everyone. Like, those are actions, right? If he went out of his way to do all these things, that would be like, whoa, right? And it does feel sometimes that Rudy's kind of, like Rudy's goal is, I mean, right now it's like, let me cure my ED, get my mom back. But, like, what would his end goal be? I feel like it's just to live a life that he didn't get to live he didn't live a life in his previous life, so, like, this is his chance, right, to live a life and to enjoy it and blah blah blah. And then things happen that get in his way that he has to deal with, right? That's kind of the like, I feel like, very general structure, right? His goal, to live a life, plot gets in the way, he kind of has to deal with the plot to live his life, kind of thing. But just, like, to have a character that constantly is just trying to, like, just live, you know? Do I like that or not? It just feels passive at times. It feels like, I guess some of the characters feel kind of passive at times. Where, like, things happen to them rather than they do things. And when things happen to somebody, unless their reaction, like, tells us something, like, it doesn't really do anything, right? Like point being, like, just that, the Zenoba introduction, where it's like, Man God tells Rudy what to do. He follows instructions to the T, gets kind of hoed for it. Zenoba fixes it. Problem solved. Like that didn't really do anything with Rudy, right? So it's like, Rudy, like, look at all these, like, red flags. Look at all these things. I mean, at the time, it's like, look at Lilia literally tied up next to the throne room. Look at Pax, like, doing all this monologue. Like, look at all this nonsense. And it's like, Rudy, like, you're just sitting around and waiting for he literally was like, well, time to sit and wait for Eris to save me. And it's like, well, what else is he going to do? He's in a barrier. It's like, okay, no, fair enough. So, like, what's Eris going to do? Like, Eris is another character I care about. Like, let's see her take some active steps. Let's see Ruijerd, like, we're going to siege a castle. Like, oh, like, okay, maybe we can do something here. And it's like, no, Zenoba just fixes it. It's like, okay. Like, I kind of was expecting something there, like, you know? Because it was just kind of, you know, I get that impression a lot. I do really appreciate this. I don't know if I, like... I am trying to, like, pull back from the comments a little bit because, like, I think it's also a poisoning or, like, a tainting the well thing where I feel like arguing with people in the comments, because, like, it's crazy. there's been like multiple branches of debate where it's like sometimes like I'm debating that Rudy is doing something wrong here. Where some people are straight up saying like, oh no, what Rudy does is acceptable, which sometimes I disagree with, right? Sometimes people are saying what Rudy's doing is understandable, which I think a lot of the times makes sense. And then sometimes people are saying Rudy's insane and flawed, and that's the point. And that I think has a lot of value too. But it's like, since we're debating different things, and especially like trying to defend Rudy, not as understandable, but as like more so like acceptable, that's when it's like, okay, well now if we're debating whether Rudy's understandable versus acceptable, then we're having to define what is acceptable or not, which there's not an objective standpoint for it. Like, we're gonna have to bring in freaking my morals and such, to figure that out. Like, even like here, like you like this. In other words, you're trying to force your POV and morals onto Rudy rather than try to understand his. And then immediately, Rudy unambiguously was a good guy in that situation. Like dog, you're doing it too, right? Like, you are trying to force your POV and morals onto Rudy, and then you immediately do a moral argument about Rudy. Like, how is he a good guy? Like, you're using your morals to make that a judgment, aren't you? Because it's not like you're making that. Like, how else do you make the judgment? Like, you're saying it, so it's your morals, right? Like, I feel like that's the where it's like causing a lot of clash, where it's like, to argue whether he's a good guy or not, can be really long and difficult, hence this nonsense, right? And that, it's like, is the show, that almost feels like a tangent from the show, perhaps? Or at least doing all of that has caused like a negative feedback loop into the enjoyment of the show, perhaps. Could you say that? Maybe. Or maybe we're just going evil Andy mode. Whoa, should this be my evil Andy look? I hate anime. Okay. Yeah. What else did I have to say? Anything? This part of like Rudy has only ever touched Eric. I think because this was me saying like, would Rudy molest her if? I wonder if he didn't have ED. If he would have done. Oh yeah, if he didn't have ED, what would he do? The comment says, I sincerely don't think he would. If I recall correctly, Rudy's only ever touched Eric like that. Someone he was close with, and there was mutual affection. Well, how much of mutual affection was there back when he like reached his hands up her skirt when she was in the freaking like, oh, a naughty girl gets her panties touched or whatever the freaking line. Like, it's not, I don't know if we can really say mutual affection was a deflect there. So if he like imagine this situation. He does his experiment, his toy soldier salutes, aka ED is over, his ping pong gets engorged. Like, would he like be like, oh, finally, good, like, time to immerse? I kind of feel like low key it would be a risk, right? I don't see why that, like, I could see that being a pretty viable risk where it's like, if he finally gets his ED cured. I mean, there was actually part of that good comment. I liked this point. I feel like the Elena Lee stuff is shown because it shows that Rudy cannot partake and acts as a constant reminder that Rudy has ED. I can like that interpretation. That interpretation was like, you know what? I can take that. I like that quite a bit. I still think it's constant, and in the show is just so filled with sex that it feels like overdone, to a degree. But I do like that. But yeah, like, if he gets his ED cured and it's like in molesting Persina, then it would, like, would he be like, oh, finally I can engage in those things? Like, he has a perfect opportunity to engage in the thing that he was waiting to engage in for multiple years. Like, the unbottling of his ED. Like, imagine that. When his ED gets cured, because it's probably a win. I mean, Man God literally said, like, do as I say and you will get your schlong cured. Or, like, go here and, whatever. Like, so when it gets cured, I mean, the guy's gonna go feral a little bit, right? I feel like he's gonna take advantage of that. Where, like, he's super OP, he's the big man on campus. ED gone. He's been having freaking Elena Lee's and just the world as a whole as a constant reminder of sexy sex. So it's like, oh, finally I can do some sexy sex. Even if it's not like intimate, loving, vulnerability sexy sex, but just like straight up like, hey, sold out, we're gonna hit the brothel again, right? Like, I could totally see that being the case. So I think there's a risk. Would I gamble on it? I don't know. But I think there's a chance that is not minuscule. I think there's a reasonable chance that could have occurred, especially if like his schlong went schlonger mode, right? Yeah. I'm not sure since I'm not a light novel writer, but I think Zenobo is studying earth magic using incantations. Okay, that's pogged. I must have missed that. Because it's like, dude, Zenobo, you're at this school for years before Rudy shows up. Please tell me you studied something and you haven't just been cranking it. So no, yeah, I assuming he's actually doing that, then like that would be good. In which case it is like this. You have to spot a whole novel every time you want to make an adjustment, but with incantation and magic, you can just adjust the figures almost instantly. Skill issue. Sadly, a skill issue. Sadly, a skill issue. And even Fitz says like it would be so incredibly hard to do the figure stuff. There was like a point to that, so I kind of get that. This is true. Like I see the context. Shout out, I think, wait, is this the one that has Psychotrist? Yeah, shout out Psychotrist. So I've talked about I've shouted out Psychotrist a couple times. I'm aware of them. Mushoku Tensei videos, Pog, go check them out. So, heard, like, I'm in that server, bro. I'm in that Discord server. Shout out the Psychotrist Discord server. F it, we ball. F it, we ball. What else was I trying to say here? Yeah, like this, Rudy is a very flawed character that people haven't given up on. And it's not because he is redeemable, because he is walking forward that it is inspiring. Yeah, it's also just one of those crazy things where, like, Rudy is a very flawed character. I would agree. I would definitely agree. So to see him constantly get things is kind of crazy, where it's like, he's a very flawed character, but he also gets things taken away. But whenever he gets things taken away, that's, like, turning point, hitting him. But, like, example being, like, he was born into a noble family, he gets the demon eye for free, he, like, gets this slave girl, and now he has, like, a cute, like he... has like somebody, like a new family member just dropped low-key kind of deal. So it is kind of crazy to just like see someone so flawed have things go right for them a lot, but then it also goes wrong for him a lot. But a lot of the times it feels just kind of like things happen, which sometimes is good, but sometimes feels contrived, I guess. But yeah, appreciate a first-time commenter, of course. I'm not asking you to like Rudy, but have more faith in the show. Honestly, the light novel, I think I have the faith in. The show I struggle with, but I think the light novel, like having the context be there in the light novel more so, gives me more faith. You get what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, I can also agree that what Rudy does is wrong, including wanting to kill Julie to release her from his misery. Yeah, I'm not gonna read that all. And not gonna read. Hey, sorry that happened, or I'm so happy for you. No. I mean, I read this. I haven't read all this. I'm just gonna skip it. It's okay. It is what it is. I don't know. Was there anything else I was trying to say here? This is just a bunch of light novel context. I don't think like she doesn't smell like any sexual arousal with Rudy and is very confused or something, which is interesting. I mean, that makes sense, right? Because we've gotten that. Well, that was never even something in the anime. The sexual arousal scent was only in the light novel, right? Because in the anime, because in the light, wasn't that introduced when when Rudy was like touching the sacred beast, and then yes, smelled sexual arousal. But Rudy actually had the sexual arousal because of the naked children. Shout out that, I guess. Whoa. Okay, no clipping. Whoa. No clipping. I think that wasn't that the context there that first came into play, and that wasn't in the anime. Yeah. Then this was interesting with the book as well. That I no idea what that I assume will be relevant. But yeah. I did read all this. Better to drop than hate watch. Not gonna hate watch. How much do I even want to reply to this? Write this. Okay. But last episode was the first time that I noticed that you entirely missed the point that IMO, the writer, was trying to convey. Missed, I think, is the wrong word here. I think it's like I didn't take. Right? Where, like, I don't think I'm missing a lot of these things. Or at least with, because I assume you're talking about, like, the whole, like, will to live thing. No, I definitely saw that. They were very explicit with that, okay? You don't have to, like, there's not much to, like, like they straight up say it, right? So if that's what you're talking about, then I disagree that I missed it, because how could anyone miss it if they're like reading the text on the screen, right? It's more so that the scene at hand was completely made me like not care about the theme they were trying to present, because they didn't explore the scene. So it's like, oh, all the context, we just didn't deal anything with any of the context, so I don't care that they're trying to make a message happen, because you didn't earn the message almost. Like, yeah, you can just throw messages in, but like gotta, you can't just do like you can't, you have to do more than just throw it in for it to be good, right? So yeah, like I like the point happened, I just didn't care, right? And then like Made in Abyss, I don't know what you're talking about here. Because that was a long time ago, and I don't know exactly your point. Because I also don't remember exactly what I was saying. I mean, I think like I kind of have some gambles about what you're saying here, but I think you struggle to really understand morally gray situations and characters, or even villains, anti-villains very well, and apply your own sense of morality onto situations and characters as you're trying to understand them and their points of view. So perhaps you should think about why that is. Just something I notice about how you think. Although, of course, I don't know you in the slightest, so everything you said here could be completely wrong. I mean, as a whole, I don't think I struggle to understand morally gray situations, characters, blah, blah, blah. Like, if we're going to bring up Made in Abyss, because somebody else brought up Made in Abyss. Oh, frick. Where was the other Made in Abyss point? Did it get, like... It was somewhere in one of these. Wait. Where was the other Made in Abyss? Was it not capitalized or something? Hello? I could have sworn somebody else brought up Made in Abyss. I freaking loved Made in Abyss, is my point. Like, Made in Abyss is pretty crazy in a lot of ways. I'm not going to spoil it. I'll be careful. But I freaking loved Made in Abyss. And I found a lot of the characters pretty fascinating. Even, like, some of the morally gray ones are really interesting. About, like I could go on an entire ramble about that nonsense. And I kind of feel like I did at the time. Though that was a long time ago. And I feel like, there's been some growth since then, sure. But, like, dude, I could give entire, like, rambles about some of these, like, more villainous-esque characters. My freaking favorite character from Made in Abyss, if you watch the reactions, you know who I'm talking about, I wouldn't consider to be a good person in a lot of ways. I would almost consider them to be like an anti-villain or an anti-hero or something like that, right? I don't know the exact terminology to like prescribe onto them. I'd have to think about that. But like, bro, I freaking love it when it's explored well, right? And I've been losing faith in some of the exploration of these things with Mushoku Tensei, right? Yeah. And so, and then I think the applying sense of morality a lot of the times comes from, well, I'm going over to the comments and then like arguing with people about like the morality of the situations, right? Because, yeah. And then also with the whole, like, this was written, blah, 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 Rudy comes from the real world, blah, blah, blah. Like, there are some, I'm kind of sick of that. I've kind of given up on that die. I've cut that balloon and it's floating away. There are some, like, ways you can try to apply, like, modern-day morality into Rudy's character, but Rudy just doesn't care, so, Omega lol, we continue. And then, like, this thing, your staunch desire for everything to be done with extreme purpose. I'm not looking for extreme purpose, okay? It's just I don't find contrived writing to be good, right? And I mean, that's kind of begging the question. I don't find writing that hinges on coincidences to be good writing a lot of the time, because it's like, okay, I'm the writer, okay? I need plot event to happen, right? It just happens, right? I want, I think the most egregious example of this with Mushoku Tensei would be like, I'm the writer, right? I want this Fitz to be part of, like, this political group, whatever. I want her to meet Princess Ariel, these characters, blah, blah, blah. How am I going to make that happen? Oh, just Mana Cataclysm, she gets airdropped on top of a boar, saves the princess completely accidentally. How often is the princess attacked in her own garden? How many times has it happened? Probably like less than 5 throughout all of history? I don't freaking know. I don't find that to be, like, I would assume that's not a very common event, but just so lucky-o happen, Fitz falls from the sky directly above the boar and then one-shots the boar, which immediately makes them be like, oh, Fitz, you can be our guard, like, you've proved yourself, right? Like, we freaking, like, that just kind of gets to happen and is completely coincidental to the point of being absurd, right? Because that's so unfathomably unlikely that out of everywhere on the entire, like, face of this planet, right? Rudy got sent to the demon continent, bro. Rudy got sent freaking sky high bye-bye, okay? But Fitz, or Sophie at the time, gets airdropped above the one spot where there's a monster attacking the princess on the entire planet, right? That is just, that to me was like, okay, that's kind of like bruh. And then also like, oh, Zenova has the figurine. And now Zenova found the one person the figurine. Good thing Zenova loves figure, you know, like, it's like that arc felt like, you know, we were like, oh, Rudy's in a problem. Rudy's in an issue here with this whole, he's in a barrier. This ain't good, Chief, right? How are we gonna get out of this little, humbuckle, if you want to call it? No, Zenova just fixes it. And I mean, Man-God, it's Man-God a lot of the time, right? But Man-God as a character just is like, oh, it's like a prophecy, bro. It's like, oh, if it's like, if I want a certain end position for my story, then let me write a story about a prophecy where it's like, in the prophecy, I freaking hint towards the end so that, like, no matter what happens the entire time, I can just say, like, oh, it's the prophecy and manifesting itself, right? Like, that can be cool and engaging, you know, prophecies can be cool. But it's almost like that where it's like, Man-God just, like, oh, he just fixes it. Like, he just has that vision or whatever. Which is kind of a memento, sometimes. Like, I don't, like, to what end, you know? Like, hopefully Man-God has some really cool stuff down the line. I'm ready for some Man-God, like, stuff of, like, give me the big plot, okay? Give me the big plot of Man-God versus Orsted. What's up with that? Can we go back to that? That was cool. I'm ready for that again. Yeah, and then it just feels like that happens a lot. Which then ruins immersion because it's like no longer does it feel like a story that like it goes from a lot of the times feeling like a story manifesting itself to story manifests itself and then oh, we need something to happen, boom, let me just write it in. Fitz falls from the sky on top of the boar. Right? Or like Zenova with the figurine, or like Lilia landing in like the worst place to be captured. Or like a lot of things. We just run into Ghislane's family. Geese just happens to get captured by the freaking Gies family or whatever. That kind of deal. So it happens a lot. Because I think in doing that, like coincidence happened very mindfully and with purpose and are written very well. I just disagree with that, right? That sometimes they just happen not because there's a mind there or like it's written well, but because there's like we just kind of like skipped the hard parts and just wanted something to happen, right? And not always, because there are like to a degree, I think it's good to show this, but it's just been done to an extreme. Anything else I want to really talk about? Entire thing is planned by Soldiers and Ginger. It wasn't random. It just shows that other people are doing stuff. Well, but like, it's planned by Soldiers and Ginger. But the thing with Zenova is that like Zenova with the figurine. He has the figurine Rudy made a long time ago. There is one Roxy figurine in circulation on the entire planet. And it just so happens to fall into the hands of a figurine lover that knew Roxy in the place where Lilia was captured, which was all random chance. For Lilia to be like captured there, random chance, right? For the figurine to make it there, that's pretty lucky. And then that is a very specific plot beat, right? In why Zenova cares to save Rudy, and then why Zenova like is part of the thing that fixes Rudy, right? So it just feels like, okay, well, we got out of like having to actually solve the arc because Zenova solved it for us, right? Kind of deal, because of just lucky, right? And it's like, bro, how much like it's hard to root for a character that just gets lucky a lot, right? Yeah. And then like it's like, and that's the thing, like these things in isolation would be a lot more fine. It's just they happen like in every couple episodes, something like this feels like it happens, right? I disagree with that. I already talked about that. Blah, 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 blah. Is there anything else I should try to say? Tank it till episode 9. Believers in. Believers in. But yeah, and I did really like this comment. I just feel like I've been yapping for a while, so I don't know how much I'm trying to get into it. About like a lot of these things. Like I like this idea. I guess that's the last thing I'll probably say. Where a lot of the sexual stuff is just because it's from the perspective of Rudy, you know? And so, like, in Season 2, we have only seen sexual stuff as a direct/indirect consequence of Eris leaving. So there is kind of, like, a transition there. And I think that's cool. I think that can be cool. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. It's also, like, can we have a character that's interesting enough that I care to understand him, right? Like, it's like, That's also a thing. Like Rudy as a character, is he even worth the mental energy in attempting to understand? Right? That's like a question. And like people that like the show will say yes. People that like don't like the show will say no. So it's kind of almost begging like, what's the point of asking that question, right? But yeah. So I just kind of want to watch an episode. This is episode 7. I got up on the screen. I don't got much to say about this episode. Funny Beast Girls piss themselves. Man, it's just, there's something so crazy to me about watching Julie, who last episode was slave girl, like, assisted suicide, cheering. What a crazy thing to see. Like, right here. About a religion founded on, like, on Roxyism, which the holy relic is panties. It's like, what a crazy... It's just like, bro, what is going on anymore? Like, yeah, and it's just, there's also, bro, I could get into an entire rant that's like kind of a little anti-anime as a whole, so I might reserve that one. But just the little crumb I'll give you is just like characters that try too hard to be cute, I very much dislike, right? Like, if a character's like, a character trait is like, oh, I'm just a cute little character, then I like want to kill you. I want to run you over with a car. You get what I mean? Is that rational? Is that healthy? You can deal with that on your own time. But it's like, bro, it's like, it almost feels try hard of like, oh, wow, they're cute because they're cute. I don't know. It just bothers me. But yeah, I usually don't try to get into that because I know that's super personal preference. Oh, there was also one of the comments said something about like, subjectively you can think it's bad, but like objectively, like, you know, you have to, like, it's a good show, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna lose my mind. If we're gonna talk about subjective versus objective, how is it objectively a good show? What are your metrics? Okay, you're making subjective assessments for what metrics matter, right? But it's like, oh, but okay, the metrics, a lot of people like the show, right? We can make an objective thing there. A lot of people don't like this show. There's a lot of controversy with the show. Is it objectively a good show? I think is a point of contention overall because of how many people get mad at it versus how many people like it, right? So, you know, it's like, how is anybody attributing, like, being part of that argument? Well, they're using their own subjective things, because guess what? People are subjective beings, right? Like, is art, like, bro, like, we could get into an entire discussion of, like, I'm just, my water bottle. Look at my fun pink and teal water bottle. But, like, it'd be like, oh, is this beautiful? Oh, okay, subjectively you think it's pretty? Yeah, is it objectively pretty? Objectively pretty? Make your assessment. Yeah, that's freaking impossible, bro. What are you gonna say? Like, no, but if you look at color theory, okay, what if I don't care? Why does color theory matter, right? Like, you know, there's a lot to parse into, is my point there, right? And I'm kind of an opinion that objectivity doesn't really exist. But that gets into realms much beyond Mushoku Tensei, so I will swallow that. Also, I would give you a sip, but it's literally water, and we would have to, like, share the straw. So that's a bit intimate for me. So we gonna calm down on that. But yeah, okay. No toast. It's also, yeah, like, it was definitely a more comedic episode. Yeah, it's just hard to find, you know, I was not in the mental to, like, laugh. I'm gonna be real. That's the crazy thing. Like, a lot of comedies, I find that, like, I can just not laugh at comedies if I don't want to, because it's like, bro, like, if I'm in a bad mood, I'm just not gonna laugh, you know? Like, you want to be funny to me. Comedy crazy like that, right? Also, Julie looks a little squished in this shot, doesn't she? Yeah, I don't know. I don't have much to say on this thing. I like Rudy groping Persina. That I didn't really have much of an issue with. I totally get the mentality there. Man, Rudy kind of gave me Cliff energy a little bit here. Can we get some Cliff foiling? And like, yeah, man, I would be so down with, like, treat Pax more as a foil. Like, let's see more, like, interesting freaking discussion between Rudy and Pax, right? You know, I'm down. Or, like, Rudy and Cliff, you know, with, like, some superiority stuff. I feel like that could be that's, like, an avenue that has, like, a lot of potential there. Which I talked about a little bit last episode. Somebody said that the things on their faces, like, Rudy owns this or whatever, and it points to the mouth. Maybe it wasn't owns, but, like, Rudy beat this or whatever. With, like, the thing that Sophie tattooed on him. Or, like, fake tattooed, right? Yeah, so that's fun. Honestly, I kind of just watch the next episode. Yeah, I'm gonna try to maybe not like try to full send get deep into the show super much because without the context from the light novel, it's been a struggle. It's been a struggle. Um, and so yeah, and it also opens the avenue for a lot of discussion on like very serious things that then I take seriously, and if I'm taking something seriously, then I'm not in a mood to enjoy a show, right? Because seriousness and passion, while they can overlap, can be kind of butting heads a little bit in at least the way that I exhibit them a lot of the time. And the goal here is more of a passion than like a lot of other things, but we'll see. We will see. When it comes to like crazy, like a lot of these intense themes that are like controversial or whatever, you know, it's very hard to make me go from, oh, this is a very important scene about assisted suicide, you know, children, etc. Going from that into like, look at the cute child, do cute child things, like giggle, and like newborn son or whatever. You know, like that is it's a huge mind shift for me. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Let's just watch an episode. Let's watch an episode. Bro, I got an entire sandwich here. I want to eat this sandwich so bad. Bro, look at this hoe. Oh my god. Oh my god. Bro, that's my after recording snack right there. But yeah, let's jump into this episode. Episode 8 of Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation. And we'll get this going in a 3, a 2, a 1. Bang! Cliff! Sorry. Cliff is like, these degens, I'm just trying to study. Yeah. What is your name again? I forget your name. I just think of Minitona. Linnea. Dude, Julia's... Wait, look, Julia's in the meeting, bro. That's so funny. Look at her. She's just like Brit. Butterfly. Is that butterfly important? Is there animal speech where you can, like, look through the eyes of a butterfly? Elena Lee's? Elena Lee's ex Cliff, real. Elena Lee's ex Cliff, real. Is that Elena Lee's? Who was that? Cliff, don't... Oh, no, Cliff's not about to study ever again. Oh, Cliff's never gonna study again. Yeah, Cliff? Yeah, Cliff? Okay, dude. Also, again, love the, that being the tent opening. That works so well. Teleportation circle. Eris trauma. Sophie colors. Yeah, Cliff. Honestly, Cliff, new favorite character. I'm just gonna be freaking mood swingy out of the wazoo with these characters, okay? Eris, gone. Soldat up. Soldat's gone. I'm trolling. No, Soldat I love Soldat. He just didn't get much screen time, man. I wish I had more Soldat time. Hey, Soldat! Sorry. When are we gonna see, Omega purple-haired freaking daughter slash lover slash... Or daughter and or... No. Daughter or lover of, Keisha Rika, bro. That purple guy? Gotta be daughter, or, son. Whoa, that's probably not a daughter. He looks pretty masculine. What's good, Rudius? Man, frickin' Rudius. Frickin' gray rats, bro. As a whole. Every gray rat as a whole. Stop bullying people, Rudy. Hey. That means you. That means you. God damn, not the Quagmire again. Who is that? Yeah, who are you gonna fight? The strongest guy on campus? That's what I thought. You good? Oh, Cliff! Bro, he got rolled. He didn't have time to actually do incantations. Hey, good ego check. Thank you, Cliff. Good development. Especially, yeah, especially because he got that Eris connection that makes him... Well, exactly what I'm saying. Dang, I thought Cliff was actually... Poor Cliff got rolled. He might not be that good in applying magic in like when he's getting jumped, because that'd be really hard to do. Let the flames, let the flames protect. It'd be like that. Could you imagine, bro? Jumping a wizard would be so funny, bro. They keep desperately trying to cast. You just keep kicking them. Oh no, it's funny. Oh no, I like that. Oh no, Cliff, not Elena. Wait, who is it actually? Is it not Elena Lees? We'll see. It'd be really funny if it was Elena Lees. Why are you talking to him about this? Let's see. Yeah, that's why. Oh no, Cliff, save yourself. Cliff, red... Aww, he's got a nerd crush. She's hot and she's smart and does her studies. That's cute. I love Cliff. I always kind of felt like Cliff and I could get along a little bit. Not like, but like as a character, like me and his character. Oh no, they weren't rumors. Yeah, I'm sorry, Cliff. Yeah, Cliff. Yeah, you're gonna do the little timidity. Oh, my timidity. Poor Sophie. She's like, oh, thank goodness it's a friend. She's constantly sweating about that. Good old Fitz. Poor Cliff is getting hoed. Based, yeah. Poor Cliff just is going in with a misconception about like, yeah. Shut up, Fitz. Listen, Fitz, you can't be saying this when he's across from you. Yeah, okay, dear. That's actually fair. That's actually fair. Oh, Fitz, dude. Yeah. You're so annoying, Fitz. You're so annoying. I love you. I love you. You're so annoying. So goofy. Rudy's just like, oh, who is it? Okay, dude. Okay, dude. This is like classic school drama, bro. Classic school drama. Look at them chilling. Hey, he's popping a squat. That's my boy. New favorite character. Forget Soldat. Random B-roll student. Is that just your favorite window? You're always here, bro. Okay. What are we doing, Cliff? Good confidence. Oh, he hits him with the full thing. I'm Elena Lees. I'm 7,000. Okay, I'll calm down. E up front. She like, bro. Did she just, is that a sweat drop? It is. She's fast. You know what I'm like. Yeah, like you're feeding him to the meat grinder. She's gonna grind him. She's gonna grind his meat. Oh, Cliff. Yeah, let's... I can't stick to just one partner. Okay, so that's part of the curse. Okay, I didn't know that was part of the curse. I thought it was just I have to have lots of bang bang. Not I have to have bang bang with lots of people. Imagine it's like, hey, Cliff, how do you feel about an open relationship? That could be actually, that'd be an interesting thing. That'd be an interesting thing. No, let me at least watch it as the audience. Hey, Rudius, leave me in the room, please. I don't want to follow you out. Poor Cliff. Fed to the wolves. No, don't close the door. Let me in, let me in. Let me in? This show sucks, I'm dropping it. I'm joking, I'm joking. Cliff is destroyed. Oh, Cliff is getting... Okay, Cliff. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, 10 minutes ago you were getting mad at me for me and Linnea. Cliff Riz. The Cliff. Chris. Linnea, you gotta wear a longer skirt. Sorry, my fault. That isn't my fault. That's my fault. I take that. My fault. Is it like, I love your curse, that so... Yeah! Okay, now I like that, Cliff. Cliff, he's like, yes, let's cure you. Aww, I guess. It's a little weird. Linnea, I'm Linnea, bro. I'm Linnea. Linnea looks disgusted, bro. Linnea's like, this guy. Real. If only Fitz would stop being a little Fitzy Fitz and actually fits it up. PDA, bro. Okay. Yeah, okay. I mean, you bested them in combat. Didn't she call you boss? Yeah. Oh, I'll stop squeaking my chair. My fault. Oh, it's too risky. I get it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, dragonfly sex? We cut to dragonfly sex? That's pretty... Actually, no, I respect that. I respect the dragonfly. Off-brand Roxy, who are you? Yeah! He's coping. He's coping. I leave the rest to you. Okay. Yeah. His straight line is funny with the Fitz context. Yeah, one rock for you? Okay, off-brand Roxy, who are you? Off-brand Roxy, hey, say something? Okay, my fault. What a society. Pretty, yeah, I mean, there's been Sorry. The girl, right? Elf Brand Roxy. Yeah. Yeah. No, don't take it personally, Fitz. Aww. That was funny. That was cute. What? Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He got 6 arms. Dude, it's Machamp. Bro. I didn't know there was a Pokemon crossover. No. Hey, I respect that. The Eye of Foresight. Okay, yeah, Kisharika connection just... Yeah, okay. Fiance, not son. That makes sense. What's up, Badigadi? You're just allowed to go to school here? Badigadi, you're just allowed to come to school? Me too, brother. That's kind of crazy that you're just like... No... Wow, that's actually kind of crazy. The... Badigadi. That's kind of crazy, actually. They really chill. They really chill with Her Majesty Kisharika in this region. Oh, y'all met up? Where is she? Last I saw her, she was giving Roxy plot important information for free. So, where's my girl at? All right, let's chill. Yeah, let's chill. I'll stop yapping. Hey, I'm already sitting. Yeah. Oh, mana capacity wise. Okay, fair. I was about to say, yeah. Why? No. Okay, fair. I started when I was an infant. Was Laplace reincarnated? Who else was reincarnated, right? No, it's because of what Fitz said. Well, it could be. I don't think Man God's given you mana capacity. Oh, okay. Good start. Good, at least, I appreciate you at least being clear. Yes, you learned from the Orsted situation. Thank you. Ah! Get ready? No, we're good. Okay, bet. Yes, Man God plot. I love Man God plot. Too bad he knows nothing. This is a shame. Are you lying? Ha ha ha. Oh, Rudy. Look at that bull guy. Cowman, bro. Thank you, Fitzgerald. I wonder if people are going to start talking about, like, dang, Fitz, you really stopped being silent, Fitz, ever since Rudy stopped talking. You know, ever since Rudy showed up. Dang, look at that. Why are you trying... Wait, why are you trying to... get what the, This is for the Dildiyas, right? You're... What's... I don't know. I'll have to look again what he said exactly. Yeah, that got him shutting up real quick. This guy's got a cool sitting position. Well, he's dead. Wrap it up. We saw him charge up the worm gate cracking special, fireball out the wazoo extravaganza extrovabombo, okay? It's not... Rudy got this. I believe in Rudius. He has to actually full send it, though. Because this guy's cracks. Dang, Rudy animation cooking! True! That's a good point as well. Oh, you're doing a giant earth shot? He's always been a bit of an earthy boy. Get it spinning. Drill bit, the ultra drill bit. Yes! Dude, this is so scary for everyone else at this school. They're like, when do I get to learn this? Is he just gonna deflect this low-key? No, he just tanks it. What happened? Oh! What if it killed him? That'd be so funny. I don't think it did, though. Is he okay? What happened? No, no, no. Is he wounded? Why do you sound like Kisharika now? Are you smaller? Oh, yeah, okay, that's a wound. I think that's a wound, right? We count that? You are smaller. That was so weird. Wait, did Kisharika, like... What if they, like, fuse together or something? Because he can split apart. Maybe he fused? Imagine he's like a marriage. What do you mean your turn? Ah! That was just rude. That was just rude. That was simply rude. Fitz, don't just leave. Oh, Fitz, you little fool. I know Fitz on the other side of that door being like, dang, I really just walked away again. I'll probably never see him again. What's up, Man God? Wait, what is this? Why is it winter? I thought we were going into Man God world. No? Okay. Him saying I'll probably never see him again means we're going to see him again, right? Let's see, though. Double eye scratch. Good scars. Good scars. He's back. Yeah. Yeah. You're the teacher? Ha! Okay. Okay, now okay, that makes a lot more sense. I was gonna say you're a student here? That's kind of crazy. You're the professor. Okay, that's pretty based. I like that actually. I actually like that. Kisharika's fiance is the professor. I won't even worry about the coincidence there. I'll take that one. I'll take that one. Kisharika fiance is professor. Bet. Bet. Wait, that guy's kind of... I kind of like Badigadi. Him splitting apart was cool. So it's like he has the 6 arms. But for each... It's weird. His voice sounded more like Kisharika's when he lost 2 of them. Or maybe it was 4. Yeah. I'm going to have to reread... I think he was just testing out Rudius' capabilities himself. Like, he didn't actually care about the Dodias, probably. But we'll actually... I'll look back and see what his wordage was so we can actually grasp. Do a little bit of grasping. Grasp it firmly. Fitz. I got nothing to say to you, Fitz. I actually love you, Fitz, but like, man, it's just hey, many such cases, right? Too scared to share your feelings. It's gonna be one of those, he's out here trying to cure his ED, okay? Fitz, you're on a time limit, right? You're on a time limit, okay? This was a good episode. I like this episode, actually. I feel... Good energy. Yeah, you gotta kind of, man, I feel like this show, you just gotta take it on its wavelength a lot of the time. But yeah, this was a good episode. I like this episode a lot. Right? Fun character introduction. Cliff and Elena Lee's is a bit of a bra moment, but like, it's more so just like, what? He loves her despite the curse. Aww. How long are they gonna last? I won't let you suffer alone. Yeah, I was kind of saying that, like, right when it happened, where I was like, dang, I wonder if this has to do with the curse. Or, like, him being, like, seeing her beyond the curse. Freaking Linnea, bro. You, like, this is criminal. Him getting jumped, bro, if you're gonna try to stop rumors, then, like, you gotta pull out some magic. You can't just let yourself get jumped. Wait, they're literally... Okay, why does he look like one of the students in this shot? They're tricking us, bro. He's sitting with them. That's crazy. They tricked us. No, he's the professor, for sure. I love that. That's pretty fun, because I was thinking, like, bro, why is he at the school? For him to be a professor makes more sense, other than, because it's like, what would you have to learn here? Like, I don't know, like, you seem really kind of out of place here, so a professor, though, like, that seems super out of place. I like that kind of more. It is kind of sweet that, like, I don't know, I kind of like the Cliff thing. I feel like there's probably, like, is it like I see her for her charms as opposed for, like, the straight sexual appeal? Like, you're beautiful, but not, like, sexual. Like, I'm not, like, just seeing you as a sexual object like most would. Like, he's doing, like, a romantic thing, like hand-holding and kissing. Right? And so if he's fine with, like, the other part of the curse, which he is, because he talks about it, then, you know what, Cliff? Speak your truth. Poor Rudy is literally like a day even Cliff is getting with Elena Lee's. That's crazy to me. I wonder how much that crossed his mind. I mean, he kind of was just like, I'll get my chance one day. Butterfly again. 2 of them. Earlier, it was 1 butterfly with him. So now there's 2 butterflies floating above. Kind of funny that it came back. I'm dying to cure myself and start making out with someone too. Dang. Yeah, but it is funny. It's not like a I can't believe Cliff out of everyone got with Elena Lee's. It's not even about like that kind of envy, but it's more just so like of the situation as opposed to of the people, which is cute. I think the comments low-key talked about this, didn't they? With I feel like someone said something about like the beast people will fight for blah blah blah, and that's why. So that, you know, but so whatever. So we're doing this so we can get with the must attract stout-hearted fellows. To get with the Doldias, I'm saying. They said to defeat them all if I didn't like waiting my turn. Bro, anybody's allowed to participate. I mean, yeah, why wouldn't they? Strongest means strongest, okay? It doesn't mean strongest and also blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Demon King Badigadi. I challenge you to a duel. Yeah, I think it's more for him about the challenge of Rudius to a duel as opposed to anything else, right? He got the news that the Quagmire, out here taking names, the Doldia tribe people, so he was like, oh, a chance to duel the Quagmire? Like, let's check it out. And I appreciate, thank you, Rudy, for, like, I'm not an agent or minion of the person I'm about to name. Good play. We learned. I'm glad you learned from that mistake, Rudy. I'm really glad you learned from that mistake. Dude, this guy's way based. I love this guy. Badigadi, bro. What happened when he got shot? He, like, shrunk? He's tiny. Dude, he's doing, like, a Kisharika type stance with his forearms. Man, with 4 arms, he's, like, the size of Rudius. With 6 arms, he's literally a Pokemon. He literally evolved. He de-evolved when he got shot, bro. Wait. I'm looking it up. Machamp Evolution. Give me a second. He's literally Machamp, bro. Yeah. Do not tell me that this is not him, okay? Him, frick. Focus on it. Him, freaking 2 arms, okay? Him, Wait, I boosted my brightness. Him freaking forearms, and then this is him when he's in max form. He's literally Machamp. That's crazy. That's crazy. Dang, he gets smaller. That's kind of interesting. I wonder if Keisha Rika, like, is she, like, on a quest to get her, like, body parts back so that she can grow in size or something? That could be funny. If, like, they get reincarnated and then have to, like, go look for all their, like, parts to, like, get back to full strength. Dang, that's a big level up. You know what? That's probably the case, bro. Keisha Rika with all her body parts becomes Gogronko. You may call yourself a hero and then punch you in the face because, ow, that hurt. Deserved. Fair enough. But that's kind of rude. Like, you at least got to brace yourself for my attack. Why didn't I get to brace myself for your attack? Kind of rude, but you know what? We'll take it. We'll take it. Fitz got that healing magic. Yeah, that was funny. Demon King Badigadi has arrived. The politics, the deity politics must be really interesting. That, like, this Magic University with, like, a lot of these different groups is completely fine with the Demon King Badigadi chillin', right? When we have Laplace out here dropping bombs. So I guess it's like, everyone hates Laplace. Yes, but they don't... Well, there was some demon racism we've seen with, like, those Cliff people back in the day. Back in the Eris POV, or the Eris OVA. But it's interesting how that isn't suffused all the way into this school, at least with this guy here. Though I do wonder if it's maybe, like, exception, not the rule a little bit with him. But yeah, it seems that, man, I would almost say that, like, because Roxy's straight up a demon, right? She's part of the Me-Girds or whatever. They're demons, right? What's up, Julia? This is wholesome. This is wholesome, and, you know, we take those. Poor freaking Rudy. Zenoba got Julia. Cliff got Elena Lee's. Who does Rudy got? Rudy got magic. Rudy got stacks. Rudy got cash. Just kidding. Rudy won it. Rudy won it. He just ain't got it yet. Hey, he go get it. He go get it. Who he go get it with? Linnea? Where's that one girl that's not supposed to show up for homeroom classes? When's she gonna show up? Because this is our 1 monthly homeroom class. She's the teleportation magic. Linnea, Persina. Not Elena Lee's, because Cliff got Elena Lee's. Fitz is, like, the go-to. But Fitz is too busy freaking, like, not sharing her feelings because she's scared. Which is super fair. I get that. I mean, it's kind of a bit of a bro moment, but it's very much a bro moment that I would expect out of a teenager, right? Of, like, being too afraid to, like, to talk about your feelings and, like, you know, childhood crush it up, that kind of deal. But yeah. Freaking Rudy is great, right? Yeah, honestly, what else do I have to say on this episode? I like that guy. Elena Lee's and Cliff. Cliff's relation with Elena Lee's seems to be he's willing to work with her curse and such. Which is, you know what? With Elena Lee's being cute with it. Dude, it's literally, look, and then even the cats are together. Everyone together except Rudius. The cats are together. The Elena Lee's and Cliff are together. He literally is he's like third wheeling with Elena Lee's and Cliff getting together. The dragonflies are together. Freaking even Julie and Zenoba are like at least doing like a brother-sister cute thing, you know. Freaking this guy's the freaking fiance of the guy of Keisha Rika. Like everyone together but Rudius alone. No, I don't blame him for wanting somebody. I don't blame him. Well, here's to that. Hopefully, we'll figure out what this cure that Man-God has in store is. I mean, if it's just Fitz, then Fitz. You want to hurry up, but we'll just have to see. On to the next, I think, on to episode 9 of Mushoku Tensei Job Communication. Of course, if you like the video, subscribe. If you're new, blah, 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 comment below, or join the Discord, talk together. Mushoku Tensei fans there. But until then, until next episode 9, that's the I'll be seeing you then. Peace.